As we already discussed, array is that uh, group of values of the similar data types. Here we can have the group of values, but that group contains similar data types. Okay. For definition, we can say it's a collection of data of the similar data types. We can have the array of the integer, means it has to contain only integers. If it is an string, only in string, any data types, but that particular array must be have the same category. We cannot mix different data types. So that's a basic definition of an array. So in array also we can have the in for loop I true and j column. Even in array also we can have the multiple dimension, single dimension and multi dimensions. So array is what is that? Array, one more thing in array is that array cannot grow. Array cannot grow means we have to give the fixed value to the array. We have to mention the size. If the size is 10, then array can hold maximum value up to 10. You are given the size is 10, and if you are storing the value 5, then it's good. But everywhere when we are mentioning the size, it gives a problem only when you are exceeding. Okay, even for the for or even for the storing an array, data type, anything, the problem occurs only when you are going beyond the size what you have mentioned. So array, if you mention array size of an array is 10, up to 10 values you can store easily without any issues. If you are trying to store the values beyond that, if you are storing the 11th value, then it will throw an error. Okay, because and the in array we have to mention the size well in advance. So we can say that array size cannot be increased or created dynamically. We have to know well in advance. And another one point to remember in array is that we can store only dynamic values. Sorry, we can have different data types. Okay, we can store the different data types, but in a single instance. You are creating array for the integer, only integer value will be stored. We cannot club integer with the string. So different data types we cannot have it. Okay, don't confuse. We can have the arrays of the different data types, like array of integer means only integer values, array of string only string values. You cannot club string and integer values in a single array. Okay, that's the mean of that. And how to store the array? Here is the syntax. Data type you have to mention, name of the array, and the size, what the size you are mentioning. So array cannot grow dynamically. We will go for the array when we know the size well in advance, and we know the data type well in advance. Integer, string, float, any data type. You can create array of any data type. There is no limit, but you cannot club different data types together. It has to be same data types, collections of the same data types. But how it will store? It will store from the index of 0. If you are having the array of size 10, then the upper bound will be the 9. Why 9? So let's not confuse. In computers, it will start from the 0. Everywhere in the computers, they will start from the 0. So the starting point, the lower bound will be the 0. 0 to 10. So 1, it will be 10. So usually we get confused, because in our daily life, in our daily practice, we start with 1. If the ending with 10, it will end with 10. If ending with 100, it will end with 100. But when we start with 0, it ends with one lesser value. For the number size 10, if it starts with 0, it ends with 9. So usually we get confused, even though we are aware of it, even though we have practiced many times. In some scenarios, while calculating, while internally manipulating ourselves, we usually get confused. Okay, x come 9. So we have to be little bit careful, especially when we are doing the for loop iterations. There we usually get confused. Okay, so just be careful. If it starts with the 0 bound, 0 to 9, it's a 10. Size is 10. If the size is 100, then the starting value, the lower bound will be the 0, and the upper bound will be the 99. So this is about the arrays. It's a small recap we can say. This already we had discussed. So we can say that the array is a similar type of values in a sequential order. Yeah, that's another important thing. It stores the values in a sequential order. Means you cannot insert the value in between. That you can say another drawback of an array, or else advantage of an array. It depends upon the scenario. Because in some scenario I want the values to be stored in between, but that is not possible because the how the value you are going to insert in the same manner it is going to keep on saving. First I can enter the value 10, second 20, third 30. Then it will save in the same manner. 0 index will be the 10, 1 index will be the 20, third index will be the 30. But if some I want the 30 to be the fifth index, it's not possible because you have given the three values, then I will store in the only 0, 1, 2. That's it. You given the three values and you want the third value in the fifth index, it is not going to happen in the arrays. For that, you have to go for
Before calling them back, Pawan, I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah.
While calling them back, can we call them in between the array completes it, or do we need to go in a sequential order?
No, no. While displaying, you are saying right. While
Yes, yes.
reading, while reading, we can manipulate little big things because we can call with the index value.
Okay.
If you're displaying with the index array of 2, means you'll
Yeah.
get the third value.
Got it. Got it.
But while storing, you cannot store. You cannot skip the indexes. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that we have the 10 indexes. Yeah, you can make here we have the 10 indexes. I have only 3 values. So here I don't have any options now. The first values will be stored in the 0 index, second value in the first index, third value in the second index. For example, if you assume that all these are empty, the same like what I'm trying to say is that I have three values 20, 21, 22. So it will be going to save in the first value when I insert, it will save in the 0th index. Second value in the first index. Third value in the second index. I have some scenario, I have some condition. I want this 20 to be stored in the fifth index because the size is 10. The size is big. I want to store anywhere in between as my wish. It's not going to happen because it stores the sequential how the value you are going to enter in the on the same basis it's going to be saved sequentially in the index. Sequentially means index wise, index in the 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, you don't have options to select your own index. No. Okay, it's something like a first come first in that way. Even though you have the size is more, there's large of capacity there. I want to skip in between here. I want this index 2, 3 and 4 to be reserved for the future use. It's not going to happen like that. So it is they are making only the one condition, it will save in the sequential. So you can take this as an array has an advantage for you or disadvantage for you. Advantage for you in the sense you can take, okay, you are irrespective of the bond where it is going to save. It is going to be saved in a sequential manner. That's some relief so that while picking I can pick it easily one by one. I don't need to check of the particular index, which index is empty, which index is not empty. That headache is not there for you. The sequential values will be just there. So in between gap or in between empty values is not there. So that way you can take as an advantage. Disadvantage, you don't have choice to keep where you want. Okay, so you have to keep it in. So it will take only in the sequential order. That's one of the feature of the arrays, means it will stay. It will save only in the sequential order. Okay. And while reading, we can read it. I have three values. If I pick the array index of 2, means directly we get only one value. Okay, so while reading, it shouldn't be any problem. Um, so while reading the
Got it.
value, if you pick the character fifth index, you don't know that you have the array size is 10. You're going to select the fifth index, but the value is 3. Then it shouldn't be then it will not create any problem. It will say the array of index is blank. It will give the blank values or the default values. What is the default value of integer? It's 0. It will show the 0. Okay.
Got it, Pawan. Got it.
Fine guys. Okay, so it's done with the arrays. So we are already the next, just we'll move it little bit faster. Yeah. And array size. What is array size? The major difference one you can two major difference you can see here in array and array list. Array first we say the size is important. Means we have to know well in advance what the size we are going to have. But in array list it's a dynamic. Size is not an constant here. You can keep on adding n number of values. That's the one advantage.
Hey,
Okay.
Pawan,
Yeah.
I have
So first point is that array the size is constant. I'm sorry, size is not a constant here. It's keep on you can add any dynamic values from starting to 0 to n number, 100, 200, anything. Okay. And another thing, data type is also not a worry. You can mix here. So the two what you say the arrays cannot do. Size in the array list size is dynamic. We can add any number of values, and we can in arrays only the same data type we can store. In array list, even the different multi-dimensional multi data types we can store. Like we can club. Yeah, I have created the array list of the student. I can store student number, that is integer, and the student name, that is string. Means in array list I can store the student number also, student name also. Means different data types I can store in a single array. Sorry, in the single array list. And the size is also dynamic. Okay. So if the size is also dynamic, how it is going to operate internally? Internally, what it will do, whenever you enter in the value, it keep on allowing you to enter the value. When you stop it, internally it will calculate the last value. Internally it will calculate how much value you have entered. Then it will come, okay, the size of the array list is this much, 50, 10, whatever you entered. So it doesn't mean that it's dynamic in the sense completely dynamic. For us, for a developer, we feel that it's dynamic, but internally, again it will internally calculate again, like same like an array. After entering all the values, okay, how much value you have entered. Internally, it keep on counting. The compiler do the things for us. Okay. Yeah, this is some critical point. You can see right array list, adding the values to the array list. So we can add the dynamic values too. So we'll start with okay, so we'll start with the array list. Array. So what we are doing here, we are creating an array. So we are creating an array, creating an array of object, and size we have mentioned size is 10. So um, this is an integer type of array, means you're going to have only the integer values. You're going to store only the integer values in it. And what is the size? Size is 10. So what happens if you're not given the integer values here? It will throw an error. If you give the double value of the string value, it will throw an error. So the size is fixed here. And so size gets increased. So what happened? So I again will not discuss the array. Just if in dynamically, in case if you want to increase the size of an array, then there is an option that array. Just click the dot, then you will see all these properties of the arrays here, right? So it means these are the properties are available for the array what we can do, and there is a property called resize. Array dot resize, you can see this, right? Okay, just type array, because we want to increase the size dynamically of the array, because the array size is fixed. But in some scenarios, in dynamically, if you want to increase in size, then array, we type an array dot resize is here. Open the brace and the close the brace. You can see here. You can see it is asking for the two parameters. And just so Vivek asked, right, what is that? Array is a ref type. You can see here. It is asking for the reference of value here. So what is the reference for this is we have to pass an object what we are creating. We have to pass object of an array what we are creating. What is the object of an array here? It is a double R. Okay. Or that we will pass here. Comma. So what is the value now? 10. I want 5 new values. Then enter 15. Then the size of the array is going to increase by the 15. But type the 15 here. When you type the 15 here, it's not going to allocate the 15 new indexes for you. It is going to allocate 5 because 10 from the previous, 5 from the new. So what it will do now, the size get increased by copying the old values into the new one. The array size is 10. All the 10 indexes are filled. You want 5 new. Then you have to go for the array dot resize. Reference. What the reference you have to give? The array object what you're creating for the which you want the new indexes. That reference you have to show here. Then capacity. It's already have 10. You want 5. 10, previous 10 plus 5, 15. So 15. So what it will do now? It is not going to allocate the new. It's not going to create the new array for you. It is going to create 15 cells. Then the 10 will be copied from the previous one. So what it will do? Here size gets increased. Size get increased copying old values new one. So you can see here the size of an array is get increased, but only the size is get increased. It doesn't mean that you can manipulate with the data types. No, data type will be remain same, integer itself. Only size is getting increased. Data types, if it's integer, if it's a string, you have to go with the same data type string. Only the size you can increase. Okay, so you can say that the array size cannot be increased, create the new one. So internally we cannot say by doing this. Okay, you can go for the argument here. You said that the array size cannot be increased, but here we have the option called the resize. We are increasing here, so we can say that the array size can also be increased. It looks like we are increasing the size of an array, but internally what's happening? Internally again it's creating the new one. Just we are going with the same variable name. We are going with the same object name. We are feeling that okay, the existing one is increased, but internally what will happening? Internally it will remove this completely. It will go with the new one. So you are overriding. It will copy the previous values and you will allocate the new one what you have mentioned, and the previous one will be ignored. Okay, and still you can see that still it is not a dynamic, still it is static. Only 15 values you can enter now. Again you cannot go for the more than 15 values in the resize also. Okay. So that's the reason we say that array sizes cannot be increased. It will always create the new one. Here moreover we are creating the new one. We are creating the new with same name. That's the reason what's happening. That's the reason what's happening. We are feeling that we are increasing it. For example, we have the what to say? We have the house of the 3 BHK, and there is extra space is there, and we built the 2 new rooms. So now previously I have the 3 rooms. Now I have the 5 rooms. So it doesn't mean that I have built the complete new home. I added the 2 rooms, but those 2 rooms are the new is added to the previous one, right? It looks the same, because anyone comes to your home with the same address, they're saying the same location, so they feel okay, this is the same one which I visited previous. They feel okay, only the two new rooms are added, but to add the two new rooms, we have to build completely. We have to build from the start. We have to join it. Something similar to that, not exact example, but what I'm trying to say is that the array name will be the same. Because of the same array, we feel that we're getting the extra size. We feel that the array can increase. But internally, it is going to be remove everything and it is constructing the new one with the same size. Okay. So this you can use it as an array size, but usually in the real time, rarely we use it. Uh, Actually, as of now, I have not used it till now. Maybe some in dynamic, or if they don't want to create the new one, if they want to go with the existing one, after knowing the actual value, in some scenarios they may use it. And another drawback of the array is that inserting the value in the middle of an array, we cannot insert a value into middle of the because the size has to be increased. And one more reason why, because it will save in the sequential order. You cannot skip it. You don't have the um, you don't have that privilege to skip the indexes. The array, whatever the value you keep on entering, it keep on storing the same indexes. And another one has the same way, you cannot save the value in the middle. In the same way, you cannot remove value from the middle. You have to go with the loopings again. Okay. So this one. So all this to cover up. So all this we can see some advantages in the array, some disadvantages in the array. This all we can say the disadvantages of an array. Okay. So for this, what they have introduced? They have introduced the they started with the collections. To overcome this, they can we have collection. What is collection? First we have to keep in mind, collection is a dynamic thing. Collection is a dynamic thing. Array is not an collections. Array list is a collection. Okay, and the list is a collection. Okay, so array list is an collection. What are the advantage we are going to get in the array list? Sorry, in the collections. Actually, I am not prepared for this notes. That's the reason I'm typing here. So I will add in the like a power like a PowerPoint slides, and I will share with you. So the features of an collections is that auto size. What the size we are struggling in the array to make it array size increase, resize, all the hectic things are there. That will be the solved here, because first, as we said, collection itself is a dynamic. So auto size, it can increase it. Auto size in the sense in the size of array. And the second point is that possible to insert the values in between. And possible to delete the values in between. Okay. So what are the drawbacks we have seen in that arrays that we can overcome with the collections? What is a collection? Collections is the same as an array. Collections you will also store the group of values together. It's a, but the advantage is that it's a dynamic. Collections is a dynamic. Dynamic in the sense it's an octo size. Octo size it has the properties of the we can store the different data types. We can mix the integer and the in the same array list. We can in the same collection we can mix the integer and the string and the double all the values, and possible to insert the values in between for the fifth index, sixth index. So that's a little bit freedom you have to manipulate with the indexes where you want to store. Right? It is also possible to delete the values in between just by the finding the index of it. Okay. So is the collection is the new thing it came? No. The collections has came. So in C# collections has introduced. C# collections introduced in 1.0 version itself. So when the C# is introduced, the collections are also introduced here. So whatever they are introduced in the 1.0 version, whatever they have introduced in the collections in the first version of the C#, that are going to be called as an non-generic collections. Collections that are going to be called non-generic collections. So what are those are the stacks? What are the collections here? Stack, queues, linked list, sorted list, array list. So these are introduced over the collections, and these are going to be called as the non-generic collections which are introduced in the 1.0. And with the modifications, you can see this the stacks, queues, linked list, sorted list, array list. We all done in the, if you are aware of the programming language in the C or C++, this all we have done it, right? So we have done the stacks, we have done the queues. Basically it's all in data structures, right? Basically it's all in data structures. But if you remember, when we are writing this stacks and queues and linked lists in our college days, we used to struggle a lot. When we are doing these stacks and queues programs in C or C++, it's used to trouble us a lot because it has a lot of complexity. We have to check the values. Stacks first come first cycle. Queues first come first out. Stack first come last out. Linked list we work as a pointer number where the first point is going to be connected with the second point. Linked list, sorted list, we have to sort the arrays. To sort the arrays, what we have to do, we have to go for the looping concept. We have to check the loop, ascending versus descending. If you are making the sorted for the descending, then we have to check the value, bigger value, keep in the temporary table. Second bigger value, stored in the temporary table in the second index. So all the things we have to write it. It's not an easy over there. But when it comes to the .NET, when it comes to the advance of the .NET, all these are implemented and given to us readily. Right? You can all these all are classes. As you write an array, as we are using an array, the same way we can use it of array dot stack. It is going to be saved. It's going to display the value in the stack orders. Array dot queue, we can make it as a queue. Linked list, you can just use it as classes, like in libraries you can use it. No need to write a code for sorting. No need to write for the code for the stack. So all these are implemented given to us. So that's the advantage. That's the advantage of while going for the higher level programs concepts. Because C is that everything we have to write it. Because C is a completely general purpose. C++ completely general purpose. Obviously, C# is also general purpose. But C# what it did, he had to build his own library, he has built his own classes. So we can use it as it is. No need to, again, you no need to worry about the data structures here. Until and unless you're going for the further of the higher version, you are adding this, all those things you have to implement. But in the normal level of coding for the Greek, we can use all the concepts, because no need to like for again the stack code already is there. Just you have to use it. Q is already written the code. Just you have to use it. As we are using like an arrays or the array list, how we are using, same use it, add the values, it will work as a queue, it will work as a stack. So this all are the introduced in the collections in the 1.0, and this all comes as a non-generic collections. Correct? So we know about the collections, we know about the arrays. So we learned about the array here, array and array list. So we already make the differences. For the difference, you can see all these things what we are prepared. Possible coincidence in between. Here we cannot. Size is constant in the array. In the array list, size is not constant. So in array, only the similar type of values we have to store in the array list. Dynamic values. Even the different data types also we can store in the array list. Okay. Again we'll go for the array list. We'll go for another example. Array list. Here you can list. Character. So we can see here the array list can store the, unlike an array, and the array list can store different data types. String, sorry, integer. One is integer. 1 2 3 is an integer. Name, okay, which is a string. 2.2 is an double. Single A is a character. Okay, so we can save the different values, and you can see the another difference. Arrays we are giving the size, array list we are not giving the size. It is dynamically. How much you keep on entering, it will take it out. So internally it will calculate after entering the values, all those things. Compiler will come and calculate 1 2 3 4. Okay, the size of an array list is 4. In dynamic, again in the runtime, if you're adding any another value, it will add the values. Okay, here comes the interesting thing. Like whatever will go on the, for example, here I have mentioned the 4, and the dynamically if I want to add, then the in runtime the array is going to add the, keep on adding the extra indexes, keep on adding the extra space. It will reserve some space to take some values dynamically in the runtime. Okay, that we'll see that. Okay, so we'll see now that here we have added this way. Also we can add another way. We'll show this in the previous class. We have seen that we are adding this, so now we will see the adding in array in the different types, like array list dot add. So naming is here, array list is there, it's ARR is there. So take with the proper object name, add the values will give you 1 save it as a dynamic array. Dynamic array list. Because when I'm typing in A, it is by default by default increase second array list, so it will give again string dynamic array list dot add, what is that value, 2.2, dynamic array list dot add, we are showing a single character. It's a character. Again, don't confuse between the character and the string. String is group of characters, and when it's a single character, it's only one value is going to have. Even the size is only 1 byte, only one memory is allocated, and the character is enclosed with the single quote. Okay, and when the same a is quoted in the double quote, then it will think as an string. Even they will ask in the interview, what's the difference between a single character enclosed in the single quote and the same a letter enclosed in the double quote. So what's the difference? The first and the major difference is that whenever the string is enclosed in the single quote, then it will be an character, and whenever it is character, it will have only the one value. If we add the more than one values over there, then it will throw an error. Right? When it is enclosed in the double character, it means that it is a string. String can have group of characters. Right? Character cannot have the group of characters. It will throw an error here. So character only one word, one character, A, B, C, D, something only one. String and character will be enclosed in the single quote. And when it is enclosed in the double quote, then it will be treated as a string. So here it is a string. So here the double single A is a character, it's character data type. And here this is double quote. What is it? Is a string. Things. So how much we have added? 4. So you want to know, right, how many cells are there? That's the reason they have given the property called as the capacity. Go with the capacity. So we will check how many values it is going to store. How many what's the size of an array list here. So how to check? Go with console.writeLine. Console.writeLine is an output window. So it will display the values. Go with dynamic array list dot capacity. You can see here. These all are the properties of the dynamic array list object. This is an object. So what is the capacity is there? Clear is there. Clone in the sense copy. Contents. It is going to check whether Visual Studio Word is contents or not. Whether the one is contents or not. Copy to means it will copy the one array to another. Count is there. We have used the count in the previous examples, right? Well, we are looping the things when we are iterating the things. So we have used their count to check what is the values to iterate for. These all are properties you can check with, you can do the things. You can see here, sort is there. We are not going to write another sorting programs. Like we used to do in a C program for ascending sorting, descending sorting. We have to write bunch of lines for that. Here is already written by the Visual Studio. It's already written by the Microsoft. Just we have to call these properties here. So all these things are there. You can keep on checking. So we will check the capacity. Line read key. Dot read key. Control S. Just click the debugger here, or just click the debugger here. So we will see dynamically what's happening in the array list when we are giving the when we are not given the size. Internally it is going to operate, and when we are giving the different data types. You can see the debugger comes to the point where the array list here we came. So first initially what is happening, you can see initially when it comes here it's a null, no values are there. Just if you want to see the more clear, right click, go to F12, quick pause, sorry, shift F9. The value is null, still it is not correct anything. And if you see the type, what is the type? Collections. So array list comes under the collections. In collection it's array list. So array list in the which namespace it is? System dot collections namespace. This array list is there, and when the starting point and the initial the value is null. So what is added? 1 is added, right? Now check now. Value is count is 1. So when we see here, what we say the array list is dynamic. It can store any number of values. You can see here immediately I added 1. So it is counting. When it is reading the values in the dynamic, at the same time it is counting also. So internally it is keeping the record how much it has. Obviously it must have the records how much count is, because we have to iterate it. We have to show the values. We have to delete the values in between. We have to show. So if you want to displaying the array list, if you want to read it, then we want the count, right? We will read it with the for loop, for each loop. There what we want the count. So that is the reason it is doing extra work from the array list. From the arrays. Arrays you mentioned the size, so you take the size as 10, size as 15. Here size is not there. So as you keep on reading the values, internally is doing another extra work, is that keeping the size, keeping the count, how much value you have entered. Okay, so now it is showing the two values. It stored the two values. You can see here. One is in 0th index, one is there. In one index, Visual Studio is there. So you can see here array is storing the two different data types, integer and string. Now it came as a 2.2 and 1. You can see now the capacity count is 4. You can see store the 0 index is 1. Sorry, 0 index is 1. 1 index is Visual Studio string. Second index is 2.2, floating values double. Third index is character A. So 4 values is stored and 4 are the different data types. And what is the capacity? Capacity says 4. Just like you can see what will get in the output window. Output window is 4. You can see this, right? I can't zoom this output window, but the value you can, if you see closely, it is 4. Okay, so it is displaying the number 4. Capacity is 4. So what happened if I keep on adding? So in the dynamic way, if I add another few values, it will increase the value from 4 to 5. Whether it has the extra capacity to take the values dynamically, or it will behave like same as an array, like an resizing concept. So how it is going to take the new values? Here I will add the 4. Again after some time I will add a couple of values. Work the scenario. Here I will add something, another new values, number. Okay. And I will add the string. What will happen here? X errors. So here I am adding another two values. So it shows the capacity 4 here. If I add another two values, what will happen internally? Whether it has the capacity of taking the dynamic values. We already said it has we already said that it is in dynamics. You can enter the keep on different values. But internally, how it will operate? What is the process of allocating the new values, new spaces? So internally, what will happen? Internally, first time, it will allocate only the four items. Means the 4 values we can save it in array list. not one by one. It is not going to give the index. It is not going to allocate the memory one by one. Okay, you enter the one, I will give the only one. You enter the second index, I will give the second index memory. No. So initially first it will give you the 4 memory objects. It will give the 4 index to you. Okay, after entering the 4 values, what it will give after entering the 4, okay, I have entered the 4 items, the 4 indexes are full, I will enter 5th value. So it will not, again it will not allocate the another 1 value or another 2 value to you. Now it will allocate double of the previous, what the previous 4 indexes, 4 memory locations, 4 cells it has allocated to you initially when you have created the array list. Now it will allocate the 8 memory. So 8 items you can save it. 8 memory locations, 8 indexes it is allocated to you. After 8, what it will give? 16. Means what's happening here? Item, you can see the sequence of the number 4, 8, 16. It is doubling. After 16 it will allocate 32, 64, 128, keeps on going. Okay, so this is how internally it will operate with the memory locations, indexes. When we say the dynamic, nothing is dynamic. If you see the internal way, it feels us, it's giving some advantage for the developers. It feels us dynamic. We feel it's dynamic, but internally it's keep on adding the things. First it will give 4 values. If the 4 items are filled, 4 indexes are filled, then it will give 8 indexes. Okay, first it will say I will give the 4, you use the 4. If 4 you have utilized it, I will give another 8. Okay, so okay, you utilize the 4, you have utilized the 8. Previously I have allocated 8, now I will allocate 16. Then the 16 memory locations, the 15 indexes it will create, and it will keep on adding internally. So internally another process is going on. That's all done by the compiler. So 16, 32. So internally it knows the size well in advance. We say it's an dynamic, but if you see this very closely, internally the system knows the size well in advance, even in the array list. So only it is making us feel comfortable. It's making us feel it's dynamic. So we are not worried. We see okay, it's dynamic. We can enter keep on values, but internally it's doubling the values. It will give the 4 cells. When you are utilizing all the 4, then it will add 8. If you utilize all those 8, then it will add 16. So internally keep on adding. So you feel that there is no issues in the sizing concept because it's keep on adding. Okay, so what I'm saying is that the array list it keep on adding the values. So first it will give the 4 values, then it will give the 8 values. After using all those 8 values, it will give another 8. Another 8 means 8 plus 8, 16. After utilizing all the 16 values, it will double. Previously I have given 16, you have utilized everything. I will double you now. You may require more, 32, 64, 128. So internally, array list, what it's making, it's increasing the values well in advance. So you already know the size. So that I'm trying to say that. So it is making some comfortable for the developers, for the program, feeling that there is no issues of the size. We can keep on entering any values. Okay. So yes, we can keep on entering any values, but internally it is working very hard for us. It will keep on checking the 4 values. After we utilizing the 4, it will add another 8 to it. After using 8, it will add another 16, 32, 64. So the size of an array list keep on increasing. That's the reason size is not an constraint here, because keeping on the seeing on the number of guests, it's keep on adding the size. Even in some functions, we are in some small function we cannot predict how much guests are going to come. So initially we prepared the food for the 200 and prepare some extra food for another 100 members if they came. If they came, we'll add the extra food over there, right? And even if they're more than that, we already have the backup. Then keep on adding to that. So similar way that it will see the guests, it will see the numbers, how much it is there. Based on that, it keep on adding. So what is the limit of add? There is no limit to add. It's just keep on adding the values. That's the reason it's completely dynamic. Okay. Hope to see here. Here it's shown the 4. Now we will see what it will show here after adding two extra values. Here we'll add it as the step 1. And we add it as the step 2. Okay, so let's see what it will display. Okay, just a quick move fast. Here already shown the capacity is 4, and here it shows the capacity 8. You can see here, right? Capacity is 8. How much value we have entered? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have entered only 6. But capacity has to show 6, right? But capacity is showing 8. Why it is showing 8? Because we added another 2 values. Okay, if we added 2 values, it has to be 6. Why 8? Because we seen that it will double the values. It will double the capacity. Initially, it will give the 4. It will start with 4. If you are entering the value, fifth value, if you entered, then it will double 4 to 8. If you enter the ninth value, then it will double the previous 16. So the capacities keep on increasing. It never feels that you are shocked of any capacity or something like that, right? Give some space here, or else it is looking like 28 in the output. Okay, you can see here for the step 1 it shown as a 4, and the step 2 it shows as a 8. Okay, so what we do now, 8 is there, right? Just we do some small experiment. Here you see the capacity for the step 3. Step 3 we will add only the one value. See here capacity for the step 1, step 2, step. Just keep the debuggers, you come to know what's happening internally. So here capacity is 4, it starts with the 4, then it will go with the capacity 8, 16 is already 2. Yeah, because here itself we cross the values, then yeah, 16. You can see the 4, 8 is added. Because of adding the values here, it's already the 16. So the value is a keep on increasing when we are. I think it will show the 16 here if we are. Yes, now I think it will. Because it is already calculated. The acceleration, it will keep on doubling the values. After 16, it will allocate the memory 32. In this way, the array list is keep on adding the capacity. So because even in the interview we keep on asking this, all the things, how the array list is increasing, why it is dynamic, how it is dynamic, internally what's happening. Internally there's a capacity is a property, we can check with that how much capacity is adding. It is adding in the doubling value 4, 8, 16. So in such a way that we can give the proper answer to them. So how the capacity is never the problem in the array list. Okay, and if I want the capacity, how much it is here, 4 is there. In some scenarios I want, don't start with 4, start with 10, I say. Don't start with 4, I want to start with 20. In such scenarios, how we want to make it? In such scenarios, if you want to make an array list with if you want to give the starting point, you are allocating memory 4, you are allocating the size of index 4. I want more at the initial stage itself. I want little bit more, or just for that go for the while creating array list. Array list. Here you can give the initial capacity. So it will start with the 4. Previously, the initial capacity was 4. By default, it is 4. After 4, it is doubling 4 to AX 16 32. Now, you are mentioning I don't want the default 4 capacity, I want 10 capacity. So, after 10, what will be happen? Again, double from the whatever the initial value is there, from initial value, just keep on doubling. 10, 20, 30, sorry, 10, 10 to 20, 20 double 40, 80, 160. If we given the initial capacity for the 20, then the next will be the 40, 80, 160, like that. So here if you given the value, then it will take as an initial capacity. It doesn't mean that fixed array. It doesn't mean that like array we are giving the values, it can take only 10. No. Here in the array list, if you mention the size here, it means initial size, not the fixed size, initial size. Initial 20 will be allocated. Initial size, that is. Not the after 20, dynamic clicks keep on increasing. 20, 20 to 40, then 80, then 160, keeps on 20. Okay, this is the way you can um, think how the array list is working on the memories and allocating the space, capacity, so we can check it out. So whenever, because why I'm going in a little bit deep, because whenever we say the word dynamic, we usually think that interlake is going to happen, but it's better little bit clear what's exactly happening internally, because even if you go for the interview, definitely they will ask when you say the first word, when you say the difference between array and array list, you say the array is a fixed, array list is a dynamic size. When you say the first word dynamic list, they will stop you and they will ask what is dynamic, how it is going to store in the dynamic. If you say dynamic, how it is going to check the size, how it is going to check initialize the memory, all those concepts comes into the picture. So just you can explain in the way that we say dynamic, but internally it is tracking everything. Internally it is allocating the memory cells, spaces, capacity very in advance. It knows well in advance. How it knows well in advance? You can check with property called capacity. So initially it will give the 4 cells, 4 memory locations. After the 4, it will double, it will add another 8 to you. It will add another 16 to you. So based on your values, based on your numbers what you're entering, it's keep on adding. So it feels us, it is endless. The size is, we can give any number of size. It is dynamic. So it making us comfortable.
No,
Okay.
why it is, Pavan, why it is adding 4 items then 8, 16, 32? What is the funda behind that?
Exact function, I think it will going to be working with 2 to the power of n. You know, before I saw, right? Usually it will go to the power 2 to the power n is calculating.
So
Instead
it is,
of why
so
why
you-
it is
so it is the standard that it is going to be moved by 2 to the power, right?
I am exactly not sure about the formula behind
No,
that.
no, because I normally on most of the places I read the same thing only 2 to the
Yes,
power.
yes, correct. I need to check it once. Mostly I think
Okay,
it's
no
2 to the power n. We will check it over it because even when I was checking, I got many places starting with the 4. Exact, we'll see. Exact formula or exact what's happening. As of a developer, if you know about just how it's adding, what is the starting value? Starting value is a 4, initial capacity is a 4, and from there it is doubling. Exact formula, we'll see it. Yeah, it's good to know. Wow, the more deeper, the more exact. But let's not confuse in the same way, because what's happened many times while going in the deeper and by digging the more things, we get the more information, but after some time we get to confuse. Because we club all the things at the same time. Because even I face many things like that. So just as of now, we'll try to limit here, and we'll see what's the exact reason for that. And one more thing here, because when we are working as a developers, web developers, we are working on MVCs, or unless we are not working in the R&D sites, it's okay if you don't know much about the inner things, like what's exactly happening at the machine level, what's exactly happening in the more deeper in the compiler level is not that required for us, to be frank. If you know little bit, like what we discussed about capacity, how it is storing the values, how it is adding the values, that minimum idea we must have internally. But much deeper has it for the web developers or the front-end developers, applications we are developing, is not that required. But when you're going for the very higher rank, like R&D sites, or you're working on the much bigger companies, when you're going for the interest from Google, Microsoft, they might ask it off. But as a starting level for the web developers, we don't require much of the deeper side, because our works will be only developing the websites, developing the some standard programs, applications, all those things are be there. So let's not confuse again by going the deep. It's good to have the more deeper knowledge, but let's not confuse more. Okay, we'll see this after the exact formula for that. Yeah, so this is about the some clear. Today we had some deep discussion about the array and array list. So we seen about the capacity, how the capacity is adding dynamically. Huh? How this pictures. So here comes again. If you observe the things, what's happening here? What array and array lists are doing exactly? Just if you have assumed or if you imagined what it is, how it is operating, what is happening internally, it is storing the values. Where it is storing the values? It is storing the values in the indexes, right? Both array and array list are storing the values in the indexes here, right? Here also indexes. If you click in the index, 0 index, 1 index up to the max value, in that value index it is storing the value. Like index of 0 contains some value. Index of
So array list will handle multiple data type at a time, and array will handle only the single whatever the type we define.
correct. It means arrays will also handle multiple data types, but one at a time. Means
Yes.
array list of integer, so array of integer only integers, array of string only string. You cannot club it. In array list, dynamic is there. We can see here example, right? So makes a different data types also we can add. Okay, some values, and another value is here 2. So you can see here both here. You can see here array and array list. How it is storing the value? In indexes, it's storing the value. Index of 0, 1 value, index of 1 is the value, index of 2 values are. So if you see this pattern closely, so how it is manipulating, how it is making the things to look like, it looks like a same, right? Something like key values. The key is there, the value is there. Key and value. What is the key here? Key is 0. In the 0th key, some value is there. If I want that value, then I need to access the 0th index. I want some value, any value, then I need to go for the 1 index. For example, I have the number called student ID 123. I have his total marks 450, and I have his some ID, something, or department ID, or some ID 12. Okay, so if I want for the student ID, here you can see what I have stored in the 0 index. Student ID, what is that? 123. The student ID of is 123. marks. Total marks is 450, and here if you can take the average something, percentage of something 75. So what is the percentage? It's scoring like an values here, right? In Europe index, I have stored the student ID. In one index, I'm storing the student marks. Um, in second index, I'm storing the percentage. It is making it's making you to look easy because I have written here what are those. If I want the total marks, I need to access the index of 1. I want the percentage, I need to access the index of 2. If I want the student ID, I need to access the index 0. If this I have not written here, now I will say I want total marks. How you will going to identify? No, right? Here there are 3 values, we have a clear picture. But in the real scenario, it is going to be much more complex. For example, here itself, if we add another 2 values saying that subject 1, subject 2, subject 3, which is for which marks for the English, which marks for Kannada, Telugu or Hindi, mathematics, can we say? Now I want the total marks. Where is the total marks? In the index 4, index 1 or index 4 or the index 5? Not sure. Even though it is storing in the key values itself, key is 0. If you go for the accessing the one index, you'll get some values, but we are not sure what is that. We are not sure what is the index he is holding for. It is holding for the percentage, or it is holding for the average, or it is holding for the some any other value. So here now it's leading to confusion, right? Because it is storing in the index, it's not clear what it is storing to have. We'll go for the array and array list. Here we come to conclusion that we go for the array and the array list concepts when we are not bother about the indexes, what it mean. When we not bother about the key values, key what it mean the key. I want the values, this values I want. It is storing the sequential order, whatever. I want these values, but I am not calling them with the key values. Because if you want to call with the key values, you must know what the key mean, what does the mean of that. I have stored the 6 subject value, and someone suddenly comes, I want the value of English. Where is the value of English? In which index is going to store? If it is storing in the sequential order here, right? We have mentioned something. Yeah, like this. If you're going in the sequential order, actually, I saved like this for example. 1, 2, 3. So what have I done? I have added in the sequential order called student ID. First I have entered the student ID, then the value for the English, then for the Hindi, then for Kannada, and then for mathematics. And then for the social science, then for the total. So here I know that the first index is nothing but an ID, second index is for the English, third index is for the Kannada, fourth index for the mathematics, fifth index for the social, then another subject, and then this is for the total. But if I remove this, and they say I want the value of subject for the English or for the Kannada. Yes. Right. So here you cannot judge it because it shows in the index are the sequential. Index starts with 0, 1, 2 up to the maximum values. So when we here we come to the picture that if you want the particular key value, even though don't confuse whenever why I'm stressing this, because we say key values only with the list and the collections. Here the array list are also be the part of key values. It is the key. This is 0 index is nothing but the key. 1, 2, 3 is nothing but the value. But here the key is pre-assigned. The key is numerically assigned by the compiler, numerically assigned by the system. So we cannot identify which key is for what. I cannot keep on remembering every time what is the order I have entered, what is the order I have kept in the values over there. So the problem here is that the general accessing very hard to remember the index values. To overcome this, okay, to overcome this, what we have to go? To overcome this, we have to go for the hash list. If you want to exactly go for the key values, what the key we have remembered, sorry, what the key exactly if you want for that value, except particular for the key I want this value, you have to go for the array list and dictionary. Array list and dictionary value. Array list and dictionary concepts. Here, this will solve that problem. First, we will see about the hash list. What is a hash list? Hash list here, we work called as a hash table. So, what is going to happen in the hash table? Hash table is a generic. Here, what I mentioned like this, you can see this, right? We'll copy this. Mine will add here. So here, I can assign the values with the similar IDs which I want to call. Means previously in the array and array list, the key is predefined. It's already the compiler already has a sequence for that. It has some pattern for the generating the keys for the array and array list. But in the hash list, in the hash table, the key is a customized. Customized in the sense we can give the key value. We can give the key value. I want the key value has a name, then I can give the name. Value I can give. Okay. Now I come to the picture. Okay, there is a name. If I pick the name, it will show the name only. Right? So directly we can pick any value whatever we want. So hash table is also a class. Hash table, okay, we will go with the ht as an object. Hash table.
What is hash table?
Hash table has a, right, hash table will work as a key value dictionary. Okay, because till now I explained the same thing, right? Here the indexes are there. Indexes are dynamically generated by the compiler. It has some pattern, some sequence is there for 0, 1, 2, 3. We cannot remember if
Yes.
if I want the the value of the English, we don't know where the English value is stored. Then we have to remember the sequence every time. Okay, the first is English, second is Hindi, third is Kannada. We cannot keep on remember the index values, right? So here in the hash table, what it will do? Hash table will use the concept called hashing concept. Hashing values. You have heard about the hashing algorithms also. Based on that, so hash table internally, it will generate the hash code values. Hash code it will generate for the every key, for the every values. Even hash code is very faster than the array and array list. Hash list is faster than array list. Why? Why? Because it's converting into the hash table. It's converting into the hashing core values. And you can see how to add the values for the hash table. Hashtag doc add. So here you can see in the intelligence what it is saying. Hash table doc add. When we say it is saying key and value, it is allowing. Previously, what we are doing in the array, we are entering only one values, right? You see here the word what they say, enter the value, means we are entering only the values here. We are not entering key. But who is entering the key for the array list? Indexes. Compiler is doing. Compiler is assuming it will start from the 0 and it will enter the maximum values. So compiler is giving the key values, key to the arrays. Values we are entering, only we can enter the values here. Key is already prepared by the compiler for the array list. But in the hash table, you can see the intelligence what it says. As soon as you type hash table, the intelligence the below, it is pointing you enter the two values. Don't enter only value. Enter key also. Okay.
So we know the value, right? But we don't know the key. What will the key we have to use?
Key is dependent. Key is customized, right? As I said, like here, in this example, I want the values of English. How you search, fetch it now? How do you know where the value of English I have stored? Until and unless you see this sheet, what you are prepared to enter the values here. In this sequence, I have entered the values. Where is the English value stored here? The English value stored in the index of 1. But if I remove this, the sequence, how I entered, now we cannot say the which index contains a what value. So here the key is customized. So that's why I'm saying the purpose is here. Purpose is that you want to fetch the value with the key what you know. Here in array and array list, we are not bothered about the key. We are bothered about only the values. This value I have stored. I want this values to be displayed. I want the total of these values. I want to store only the values. But I am not much bothered where the exactly key, in which key it is stored. It may be stored in the index of 0, index of 1. Just we want to display it, if we want to manipulate it, or just we are doing the addition, multiplication, complex, that we can do it. But like dictionary values, exactly I want the value of English. Then we cannot fetch it because we can't remember in which sequence we enter the value. Because in array list, in an array, it will keep on saving sequentially. If you enter the 1, it will be the 1. Second value in the second place. You have to remember every time the second index is English. It's not possible in dynamic. So array list what it's saying, you enter the key in the before array and before adding the arrays or the array list, we are giving only values. Key is given by the compiler default starting with the 0, 1, 2, 3 up to the maximum value. Here it says you're having the confusion in remaining the index. You keep your own index. You keep your own key. So here I keep student ID. Here I have mentioned the key and the value is 1, 2, 3. Hashtag dot add. I'm storing the English values. Space separated by the comma and enter the value for the English. Total just made it have the 300. Okay, so here you can assuming that, right? If you want to fetch, because you can see it's very clear, same like a dictionary, right? When as you're searching in the dictionary, if you point the index key is Hindi, the value is 50. If the key is mathematics, we get the value. So here we can fetch any value in between, right? So any value what we have mentioned, that we can fetch it out. So just see here in the output window. If I want the value of the Hindi marks in Hindi, how you fetch it out? So what is the object we click, variable we click, ht. Actually that's an object, ht. Use the bracket. See, when you open the bracket, it is asking for the value. It is asking for the key here. So the key we have given the customized, the standard naming convention we have to follow that, so that we can remember. I want the marks of Hindi. Just type the Hindi in the double quote. Key is always in the double quote. Cancel look here, use somewhere else. Okay. So in the dynamic, the first one is count. Okay, sorry, came to array list. We'll remove the array list, no confusion. Just we go further. Just hash table, press F10. The count is 0. Even the hash table is dynamic. Even the sizing capacity same as the array list. Like it will start with the 4, again increment by the AX16. Same concepts of the storing the capacity and the values. The only major difference is that it is allowing for the customized keying concept. Customized, we can give the key customized. Thus for the index, for the key student ID, the value is student. Okay, just enter the value. See here, and you can see how it is storing here. You can see in the output window, right? For the English, the value is scored 56, Hindi 50, mathematics 66, and student ID 123. So it's keep on adding with key what you have mentioned. So let's see the output window. Here I mentioned in the output window I mentioned st, the variable, the object here what we are creating, and then I am passing only the key here because I know what is the, I want the marks only of Hindi here. So just mention the key there. You'll get the output. See here, you can see here. If you can see, marks in Hindi is 50. Right? So the advantage is that when we know the keying concept, when we are fetching with the exact the key names, we want the value while specifying the key values, then we can go for this hash tables, or else some like a small applications where you are entering, where your searching is there. Enter the student name, you can fetch it here. Enter the value of the employee ID, you can fetch just by entering the value of the employee ID. You will get the IDs here. So when you know the key and values are there, when you know the dictionary concepts, so internally if you want to manipulate the exact value, so for example total is there. In the future for the calculating percentage, I need the total, but this total is coming dynamically for me, so you can directly fetch the total. You can just fetch the like this in while calculating percentage. You can fetch, okay, st is the hash table of total. So whatever the value stored here for the total, that you can fetch in the further part of the program. Dynamically you can fetch it out. So again, there's no need of keeping on the repetitive index, keeping on the iteration, all those things. If you want to fetch directly, in array also we can fetch directly if you pass the index of 0. But you don't know what is the index of 0 contains. You don't know what is the index of 10 contains. You cannot remember every index what the value that is containing there. So if you want to know the value, what's the meaning of the what it is holding, so that way we can go for hashing table. So if I want to know all the things, here we are seeing one by one, right? Get the value of the marks in social. You can see here marks in Hindi 60 and marks in social is, sorry, marks in Hindi is 50, marks in social is 60, right? So directly we can fetch with the key values. So what if every time I need to queue? How if I want to go with the, if I want to display all the values, right? So here you can go with the help of the for each. If you want to go for the all iteration of the entire hash key, entire hash table, as an object, because it's an object here. I forgot to mention that when you're creating this, you will see here, you can see this object key is an object here. That's the reason when it's object, you can hold any data type, string, integer, all those values. So here it's an object, so it is holding key of any values. So again here the data type restrictions is not there because the key is an object. Okay. Take for this. Take for this object key in st dot keys. Right? And st dot keys is there, and even st dot values also there. St dot values what you want to show. Here if you want to make it has see what is good. So it took the 7 values. The key contains the 7 values, and here you can see the first value is English. So English is going to display. Second is science. Third is mathematics. Fourth is social. So it is iterating only the keys because we mentioned only the keys. Here you can see all the keys what we mentioned there. That is came here. English, science, mathematics, social, student ID, Hindi. Right? And you can assume here, right? You can say, if you see closely, how we came English, science, maths, social, total, student ID, and Hindi. But in which order we have entered? Order first is student ID, second is English. If you keep for the side by side, you can see the first is student ID, English, Hindi, maths, social, science, total. But here in which order it is showing? First it's showing the English, second it's showing the science, maths, and student ID. Means here it's not an sequential. Here it's not an sequential. Why it's not an sequential in the hash table? Because we have said that hash table internally it will convert the values into hashing code. It has an hashing algorithm. So the key will be internally converted to the some core values. Based on that core value, it will display the keys in the order. Not in the order, unlike in the array list or array, the sequential it will follow. Here, the values are stored in the hashing table. Based on that, the order will change. Okay, because the iteration, the storage values, everything is based on the hashing key. That's the reason it is not showing in the sequential. So just we'll see that. We got that why it is not in the sequential. Here you can see if I keep the values now, keep on.
Pawan, actually, why we declare that object type, the key?
Because object, because the key is an object here, so we have to declare the object. In for the array list, we used to declare as a var.
Yeah, yeah.
Var is any
But
data type. Here,
because in
here,
the because in the syntax I saw that it is asking object key and the value, so that's why we declare as object, right?
yes, because while mentioning here itself, when you're declaring here, it is going to ask the object. One second, if you see here, ht dot add. So here itself, you can see that it's a mentioning key is an object. It is saying value is an object. So
Okay.
fetching up the object in the hash table, we can go with the object. But in the array list, we don't know the data type. It's completely dynamic, right? In array list, we don't know what the value we are storing. So here they are designed with the object instead of the var. We'll go with the object. And you can see the values we are getting, right? So we can mention the both keys and values.
So what I understood is ht dot values. It will give the keys,
Values.
and that keys will be stored into the key object, right?
Yes. From there it will fetch it. So here is as we are discussing, right? English math. Why it's not in the order? Why it's not in the order? I said it because it will come as it will internally convert the hashing table. Hashing key is created. In the hashing key in the code it will store. So if you know that in OOPS concepts, because when you start with the object here, everything is an object. So we'll start the OOPS concept very soon. Okay, till then the object contains 4 values. To explain why it is containing the 4 it's not coming in sequential order, because internally it is converting into the hash table. The hash table storing in the hashing keys. So it's an object. How the object has the properties? So object has a property called get hash code. Get hash code. The object has a property and equals and to string get type. So these are the properties of the object. By default, the object contains these 4 properties, 4 methods. Get hash code. What will do? It will do the numeric request, numeric value request. Here the get hash code, it will take the key and the value, it will convert into the get hashing codes in the numeric request. Equals string to string, it will convert to the to string. Get type, it will show the which data type it is. So the object contains first these 4 properties: get hash code, equals, and to string. Because it's an object, hash key comes under the collections, it comes under the objects here. So it has the property called get hash code. Internally it will use the get hash code for the conversion to the hashing tables. Okay. So if you see here, console.write line, student ID is there, right? Key is student ID. Student ID is a key. So how it is converting? Internally for the hashing table, there is a property called the get hash code.
Pawan, actually, I'm not getting what you're trying actually.
No, actually, object contains the 4 properties here. Okay, when we work on those concepts, we'll get more clear picture. But for example, this is an object, right? HT is an object. Okay, and a class
ST
is
an object.
when we create the class, hash table, array list, all these are class. And till now
Correct.
to say that this is a variable, but it's not a variable, it's an object, instance of the class. So
Yes.
array list is a class, it's an object of the array list, the dynamic array. Hash is
Yes.
a
Sir.
class, it's an um, object, it's an
So,
instance of the hash table. So
so,
by default,
so,
object contains these four main properties. Properties in the sense methods. So these methods contains for every object. Okay, that I'm trying to say that initially. So the object
so,
contains these four
so
methods.
these are the methods which are present in the hash table class, right?
Not only hash table, everything, any method, any object you go, object for the array list, object for the hash table, or any, even if a custom design class, we can create the class for the get student, we can custom the class for
Okay.
any object. These properties will be there, these basic four properties will be there for the any object. So that's the reason they took it as a hash table. It's available in any object. For that reason, the hash key is converted into the hash code. The name itself says get hash code. So we can say here we can go some, see, get hash code here. Here you can see, right. So we here I mentioned what I'm doing. The student ID is there. Just I'm converting to the hash code. What the hash code value will be there for the student, because in the hash key, in the hash table, student ID is there, but it's not coming in the sequential. It's coming in the unordered manner, because it's not storing in the like index like array list. It's not storing in the index like 0 1 2 3 to coming the sequential order. Here the key is customized. When it is customized, the compiler must have the, because the compiler doesn't store in this what we have given it. It will convert to it in the hash table. It is converting into the hash codes. To to what code it is converting? So just we'll check it. Just type a string what you want to know. The property is that dot get hash code. You get to see the hash code of the student ID. Just we keep, and if you see you, or else just select all this thing, right click and F12, quick watch. You can see the value here, right? Some value generated 1x to some 1x9, and if you continue, so this is the hashing key. So every time for for the one compiler, it will, when it compile, it will save that value, and every time whenever it come, it will be with the same value. So it will keep in the order. Okay, student ID, this is the hash key for that. This is the hashing code which is converted internally. If you want to store for the other thing, student ID is there, English will see. Again, it's not sequential. The sequence of the hash key and the sequence for the next value, it will varies. It doesn't mean that the values we are going to get in the sequential. So dynamically it is going to generate. You can see here the values. This is all the hash keys. It's completely different to one to another. First one is starting with the positive number, and the second one in the negative number. So internally, exactly is using the hashing algorithm for the conversion for the hashing values, and it is storing the values in such manner. Okay.
So what I understood, internally, the student ID hash value, that value will be stored that in corresponding to that hash value, right?
Hash value. Exactly storing that value in the pointer location. I need to check it once. But internally is exactly not going with this value. Internally is converting to the hash value. Hashing code value is converting. Yes, and in that way it is getting the, for us it is displaying the values, respective value what is for that it is showing. So the hash table is helpful when you're going with the dictionary values, when you know the, when you know in the future I want the value with the specific name. So in that scenarios we can go for the hashing tables for the hash values with the key and dictionary manner. Okay. So in such scenarios it is very useful for that. Okay. So here, what we contain here. So what we seen here till now I was saying it contains two values. One is key and another one is value, right? But when we seen here, when we seen the hash code, because when we seen the output here, output is showing in not in sequential order. When we little bit dig, why it is not showing in the sequential order? Because it is storing in the hash code value. What is the value here? This value is different. So it is not going with the two values. We can assume that it is going with another value called hash code. Not two values here actually. There is another invisible thing is there. That invisible thing is hash code. Key, value, and the value, and another thing is hash code. So three things are coming to the picture when you're working with the hash table. And key and value will be the object. Remember, key and value is an object. But hash code is an integer number. It's not an object. Key and value is an object. You can give any values, any key. When it is object, means don't worry about data type. You can give any data type. But hash code is internally playing another picture behind the string. It is converting your key into the hashing code. Based on that, it is showing your respective values. Okay. So what we understood here, what we came into the conclusion is that array. What is an array now? So now we have seen about the things a little bit much deeper. We've seen about the array list, hash table. We went for the concepts of the capacity, hashing table. So what we can say now? Array. What is an array? Array is a type safe. Why it is type safe? Okay, when we say the type safe, we say the type safe when there is no confusion in between the data types. When there is no confusion between the sizing. So we know well in advance in the array, right? Integer data type. Array allows only the integer. Array of string, it will allow only the string. Size 10 means only 10. So it is very safe, it is very strict. It's allowing you to follow some particular rule. So array is tape safe. But what's the problem? It is safe, it is tape safe, it is secure, it is not allowing it to mess up the things like all data types, any value, any number. No, it's saying if you want integer, create integer array. If you want string, create string array. Make it clean, keep it clean. But another problem is that here, fix the length. Length is fixed. And one more thing is that collections. Okay, what's happening in the collection? Auto resizing. Advantage is auto resizing. We used to say dynamic, but more than dynamic, it's better to say auto resizing. Why? Because we've seen here, right? How it is going to store, how it's operating. I think I removed that. Yeah, we've seen here resizing. First it will allocate 4, then it will resize itself to double the value 8, then double 16, 32, keep on going. So it is resizing its value dynamically. So the advantage here is the auto resizing, but not type safe. Collections is not type safe. We can make some small difference here. Array is a type safe, but fix the length. Collections auto resize. Size is here the issue is the fixed length that we have solved in the collections. By adding the auto resize, it keep on adding the values. Fixed length we remove, dynamic it become. But collections is not type safe because we are entering the any values, dynamic value, dynamic data type. We are mixing the things, right? So if you remember first what I said, all this array list, collection, all these things are what they have introduced in the C# 1.0. Yes, all those things are generic, non-generics. All these are added into the non-generics. Collections, queues, stack list, array list, all this comes under the, even the hashing key comes under the non-generic. Why non-generics? Because here it is not that type safe. So in the latest one, in the, I think in 3 or 3.2, they have added generic collections. Why they need to add the generic collections? Why need? Why is the need to the? What is the need for generic collections? Because because collections are not type safe. Okay, this we can see as a non-generics now, because no, um, this collections of 1.0, or when it's the non-generics, non-generics are no type safe. Why no type safe? The Getter type, we are allowing them to enter anything. We are clubbing the Getter types. So what we want here, why we went for the collection? We went for the collection because there is an issue in the arrays. Arrays has a fixed length. To overcome, we went for the collections, auto resize. But we came with another issues called as a knock type safe, because it is allowing for the generic all the data types. To fix that, they came with the new solution, generics. What is the generics here? What's the advantage we are going to get to the generics? Generics is both type safe and auto resizing. Here we are getting solution for the both. It is a type safe. When we say the type safe, again we have come into the picture. It's work like an array, means the data type will be the specific. Again, you cannot club all the things together. No integer and string in the same way. You have to keep the separate. Integer is separate, string is separate. Okay, because here in generics we are trying to solve the problem what we face in the array. The problem what we face in the array is fixed length. So I want type safe but not fixed length, dynamic. So that's the reason they introduce generics. But in the collections, collections in the non-generics, it is also auto resize, but it's not a type safe. We can mix all the data types together. But for some scenarios, I want the data type which is separated, but for that I want dynamic size. Size has to be increased. For that we have introduced, Microsoft has introduced generics collections. What does generic collections do? Generics is a type safe. What we want is a type safe, and we want length to be resizing, dynamic. So they introduce auto rearranging. Generics is nothing. Generics collections. Generics is nothing but type safe and auto resizing. What comes under the generics is list. Here,
Why a non-generic collection is not safe? I didn't understand actually.
no, here we are mixing all the data types, right? In array list or in the hash table, we can give any data type. Here we are clubbing both the things, integer and string, double values. Data type is not strict there. In the array that we are mentioning well in advance, what data type it has to store. It has to store integer. So here there is no confusion, there is no extra word for the compiler. So the error is very less, because like the compile time itself it will blow if we are giving the different data type. So here we are securing the code, we are securing the values which we are storing. But when we come for the array list, there is no gear type mentioned. We can store any gear type. So here, for the scenarios, if you're clubbing both in the same group, it may create some error or some issues for further complications. I'm not saying don't we are not have to use a array list. We have to use array list. We have to use arrays, but depends upon the scenario, depends upon the purpose. So here the purpose is that here we are solving the major problem for the arrays in the list. Array is a type safe. What I want here, I want type safe. I want the getter type to be very defined, very strict. I want getter type to be mentioned, integer getter type, only integer values. String getter type, only string values. I don't want club all the things. Here, but for in the collections, what happening? I can club all the values. I'm getting the new advantage of resize. But some scenarios I don't want to club all the things. I want to be very strict in the data type, but I want the length to be dynamic. That is not possible in the array. So fixed data type has to be very safe in that scenarios. You want the dynamic length. Then they introduce generic collections where the data type we have to mention well in advance, like what we have worked in the arrays. We have to mention the data type, but the advantage here is auto resizing. What the size we are mentioning in the array, 10, 20, the size we are mentioning well in advance. That they have made it comfortable here. Here that they have removed that barrier, size barrier they removed. They made auto resizing for the integer data type, string data type. That's all comes under the generic collections. So what will come under generic collections? List is there. List is a part of the generic collections. Here the key mentioned the type of value what you want to enter. If you enter the string, if you enter the string, if you enter the integer, even you can add a custom class. The advantage of the list is you can add the custom classes also. You can pass the object values also. For example, we'll have another 10 minutes. So I'm creating the list of integer. List of integer. So here I can add integer values. It's the same like an array, right? What we have mentioned here, array. Just we'll go back. You can see the difference what we are mentioning here. Size is not mentioned here. We are not mentioned size anywhere. So it will operate as a dynamic. But we are mentioning data type. It is a list of dynamic size, but the data type must be integer. Okay. It is a list of string data type. String data type with dynamic size. So we can go for multiple things, or we can create for them the custom class. Even you can pass the class also here, as we're not started the class. But if any the custom class is there, student class, that object we can pass here, student class. Custom for the student class. So the advantage of the list is even for the custom class objects, or even the properties of the classes we can pass like this. When we create the class,
suppose so we have a student class and we are declaring the list, so it will contain all the information about the student, right, in the class whatever we have.
yes, that what are the properties we have mentioned in the student class, that properties will be contained here. So that the student class object we need to pass. So when we are working on the OOPS concept, when we create the class, then we can see, for example, for this. Okay. So that's the advantage of the list. In arrays, In array, we have to pass only the data type of integer, string, all those things. Here we cannot play with the properties of the custom classes. But in the list, it's a safe, secure, safe type with the dynamic sizing, and we can pass. We have the extra features about the passing the class values, objects, and the list. So we have some extra advantage of using the list. So so when it is a very safe, secure, we go for the list itself, and um, we want the dynamic data types. We has a string and string and values in the same. Then the approach is that create a class, add the values whatever you want there, and call the class here. So in that way, even the arrays which is not type secure, here we are making as a type secure while creating the class. While creating an object, that object contains all the values what you have added in the arrays. So in that way we can utilize object in a very proper usage in the very as an advanced level. Okay, so this is about what we have studied till now. Object arrays, array